What is up, everybody? How's it going? Let me bring up the stats and the chat here. There we go. Yeah. I don't care. What is going on, everybody? How are we? Let me know in the chat how you are. Chase is going to join us, but he is not here yet. He is, I would say, pretty busy at the moment. All right. So, we have been dealing, or we're getting ready to deal with this hurricane that is moving into the area. We had some substantial rain last night that has really was pretty devastating for the area, honestly. And that wasn't really directly linked to this hurricane. So, as we, I'm going to have to, something has changed in OBS. I don't know why, but I'm going to pull it up on my phone, make sure everything is good here on my end. And it is. Okay, cool. But yeah, this is a historical storm, I'm afraid. We're going to be dealing with something we've not dealt with in a long time here. So, just some things that you can do to prepare yourself for the upcoming storm. And really what I'm concentrating on is a power outage. I'm planning on my power to be down a day or two. Hopefully it won't happen at all, but I'm fairly certain the power is going to go out. So the first thing I did was I filled my washing machine up with water completely, and one of the bathtubs. That way I can flush the toilets. Now, some of the people around here have spring water, and they don't have to worry about that, but I do not. I am on a well, and I filled one of my bathtubs completely up with cold water and the washing machine. And the way I filled up the washing machine, because I have a newer washing machine, it's an LG, and I'm sure a lot of people watching have newer appliances. What I did was I unplugged the power to the washing machine, turned off the water, the cold water going to it, unhooked the cold water line, and then I just put it in the tub, turned it on, ran it full, turned it off, and I left it unplugged. It's sitting unplugged, full of water in my utility room. That's something you can do. That way you've got multiple days of toilet flushes if you need it. I wouldn't advise drinking that water, obviously, because it's come out of your washing machine. I'm sure there's more than trace elements of residual chemicals, detergents, bleach, and whatnot in there. So don't do that. Don't do that. But that's one of the things I did. I have also made sure that all of my all of my electronic devices are fully charged. So that's all of my laptops are fully charged. And the reason I've charged my laptops, and I just had to explain this to my son, is because they make great phone chargers. They're awesome battery backups, which I'm sure a lot of people know this. But charge up all your laptops. You're absolutely right. If you have a top loader, that works well. If you don't have a top loader, you're going to have to fill up your bathtub, as many pots and pans as you have and can, to prepare for needing to flush your toilet. That's a good point. Good point, Melissa. I'm glad you brought that up, because I do have a top loader. If you have a front loader, I don't know that there's whole lot you can do with your washing machine as far as that goes. Now, Mitchell County, North Carolina, where we're at itself, does have a curfew in effect from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. So, yeah, probably should stay inside. I think this is going to be a really, and I'm waiting for Chase to get on here because Chase actually has a background in meteorology and he can really go into what he thinks this storm is going to do, and he can explain a whole lot about this that I can't. But Chase had some flooding in his basement, so he was dealing with that. But at any rate, yeah, store up as much water as you can. Another thing you can do is fill coolers up with water. Any kind of large vessel you have, fill it with water so you can flush your toilets. That's a huge thing. Also, okay, back to the electronics. Charge all your cell phones. Keep them charged. And like even right now, my phone is connected. That way it's 100% charged. When the power does inevitably go out, I feel like it will be fully charged. Laptops are charged. They make great battery banks. I wouldn't use them for entertainment because I'm using mine for a battery backup. So, yep, there is a curfew in effect from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning for Mitchell County. This is going to be an interesting few days, to say the least, going into the weekend. So it looks like, alrighty, Chase hasn't quite made it on just yet. I'll go into the live radar here. Let me pull it up so we can kind of get a idea of where this hurricane is at the moment. Yeah. I want to allow that. I don't want any ads. I understand the policy. Track the cookies. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Okay. So, this is a live radar as we speak. So it looks like the actual cell is in Florida. Can't tell if it's actually made landfall or not. Let me find a better, more zoomed in. Here we go. There we go. Okay. And here we are. This is from the National Weather Service. This is their live radar. So it has indeed made landfall. It is in Florida, Alabama, Georgia. It's hitting hard there. But as you can see, we're getting a lot of rain from it. A lot of weather from this. I would say the brunt of this it looks like it's going to hit $850. That's where we're at now. This is wild, y'all. This is wild. For those that are just joining us, welcome. Please give us a like, share the video out, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is wild. So I have I have some things pulled up here. I will show some pictures of what happened last night. This is pulled off the Let's Talk Mitchell County page, so I will give credit to the people who took these pictures because they are not mine. You're absolutely right. The worst of it will be in the overnight hours, and that's never fun. Before I get into showing pictures of what happened, so here's a hurricane, Helene. I don't know how you say that. I haven't been watching the news. Here is an update from the hurricane, though. So this is from Mitchell County Emergency Management. You can see here There are shelters in Mitchell County anyway. I don't know about other places, but I know Mitchell High School has a shelter set up, as well as some other places. But here we go. So this is a dangerous storm, and we will likely see extreme flooding, damaging winds, and the possibilities of landslides. Do not travel unless it is absolutely necessary. Trees may be down on the roads, and there could be washouts, flooding, and other problems that may be hard to see in the darkness. Stay in a safe location until the storm passes. If you're impacted by flooding or need to relocate, please call 911 for assistance and resources. If you have friends, neighbors, or relatives in the flood-prone areas, please encourage them to seek higher ground and shelter now before conditions worsen. Please have several ways you could receive warnings and alerts in addition to a cell phone. Sorry, I got distracted there. I was like, oh, look, a squirrel. Oh, look, a deer. A battery-powered radio tuned into a local station and television or other communication devices are a good way to stay informed. Mitchell County will be providing shelters for anyone who feels they are in danger. The shelters are located... Sorry, I got distracted by the chat. You were right. It has not made landfall yet. Okay, I was wrong. Not until 10:30. I was looking at the radar, and it looked like it had, but maybe it's not. At least this part of the storm looks like it has. But anywho, yeah, so shelters have been set up in Mitchell County, North Carolina, for anyone who feels they're in danger. The shelters are located at the Beacon Center for the First United Methodist Church, just off Highway 226 in Spruce Pine. It is now open. A Red Cross-operated shelter at the Mitchell High School Gymnasium in Ledger, opened at 9 p.m., so it's opening like right now. Be aware that your electric generator could injure line workers if it is not properly installed, and they restore your electricity. This is very true. So if you have a generator, diesel, gas, natural gas, whatever, and it is tied into your house and is not properly installed to not backfeed into the grid, you can kill line workers. That will happen and can happen. So please be aware of that. Our emergency responders are ready to assist if there are problems, but we encourage everyone to take action now to protect yourself and your loved ones. Don't wait until there are floodwaters or other issues. This will help all of us. This is very true. Thank you very much for this post from the Mitchell County Emergency Management. It looks like Chase is ready to pop on in about 5 minutes. All right, man. That sounds good. We haven't done a remote like this, so hopefully everything works out and it doesn't. We have no glitches. But anyway, so yeah, I was going to show some pictures of what all happened today here, at least in Mitchell County. I have some pulled up too from Asheville. This happened. I guess this was this was on the Biltmore side of Asheville today. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. We've not seen weather like this in a while, and it's pretty intense. So again, if you're just now joining us, which it looks like some viewers have fallen off, but that's fine. If you're just now joining us, what I've went over basically is if you have a top-load washing machine, fill it up with water. Fill your bathtubs up with water. Any kind of large water holding apparatus you have, fill it up with water so you can flush your toilets. Make sure all of your electronics, laptops, tablets, cell phones are all fully charged, and keep them fully charged. Okay, before we get any further, we're going to hear a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back in just a minute.
Josh.
Chase.
Before we continue this podcast, I've got this package I absolutely have to get out.
Right now.
Immediately.
This second.
It's critically important.
You've got to go to Big Al's Pack and Ship.
Duh. How could I have forgotten? Our very first sponsor.
Yeah, and they'll ship it out any way you want, FedEx, DHL, or UPS.
And somebody told me Big Al's also has mailbox. Now, is that true?
They do. We should totally get one so we can be showered with gifts by our adoring fans.
100%. And they'll shred all of your important documents for you.
Thank God, so we can get rid of all this evidence before the FBI gets here in the morning.
That's absolutely true. And our NDAs that we have to get notarized.
We can get them notarized, too, after we fire all of our employees.
Of course, we're big on NDAs.
We sure are.
Yeah,
we sure are. And when it's time to move?
They've got you covered with U-Haul rental. Any U-Haul you want, and all the moving supplies to get you started.
Wow. They also offer copying, faxing, and greeting cards. They really are a one-stop shop.
We use them all the time with our business in the construction industry. They've notarized all of our construction documents and construction contracts.
This is a service that we both personally use. I ship guitars out and other musical equipment that I sell on occasion. Big Al's has always been really good to us.
No joke. So if you got something to ship out or any of those services that we talked about before, go see Big Al. He'll take care of you. Roan Road in Spruce Pine.
Big Al's Pack and Ship.
We give a ship.
And we're back. And thank you again to Big Al's Pack and Ship for sponsoring these videos and making what we do here possible. So, and we're back here with more radar. So, again, doesn't look like it's made landfall just yet. There's a large part of the cell here. I don't know. That looks to me like it's hit land. Maybe not the eye of the storm, but that looks to me like it has hit land. That it has made landfall. But we are way up here. And we are... Yeah. Definitely getting a lot of rain from this. Let me know in the chat how much rain y'all have got in your areas, wherever you're watching from. I know this has been pretty crazy. And I'm sorry, I'm really just hanging out until Chase gets here so he can help me out a little bit. So it looks like here we've got some total rainfall. This was from today. Looks like now through 2 a.m. Saturday. Okay, so this is what we can expect. Looks like Burnsville 6 to 8 inches, Newland 10 to 15 inches, Marion 6 to 8, Asheville 4 to 6, Waynesville 6 to 8. Man, that's a lot of rain. On top of all the rain that we've already gotten, this is intense. It really is. Not to mention there's going to be a lot of high winds. The ground is super saturated. Trees are going to fall. I mean, you may as well just plan on the power being out. Plan on the power being out and don't go anywhere. My God, stay off the roads. That is my best advice to anybody. If you can at all help it, do not travel during this because the likelihood of a tree falling is incredibly high. And I don't know about y'all, but like that's one of my worst, legit, that's one of my worst fears is for a tree to fall on me while I'm driving. That terrifies me, actually. I could not think of a worse way. I could think of several worse ways to go, but that would be in my top 5 terrible things to happen. So let's avoid that at all costs if we can, and just stay inside. Stay inside, please. Yeah, it looks like we're going to get a lot of rain. So again, 6 to 8 inches in Burnsville, 10 to 15 in Newland. Spruce Pine looks like it's in that 10 to 15 also. No, it's in the 6 to 8 range. It's in the 6 to 8 range. So, yeah, it looks like we're in the 6 to 8 inch range for. I totally get it. Space telegrams. Like, I would not want to be hit by a tree while driving. That sounds terrible. Absolutely terrible. Not a fan of it. Not a fan at all. I can hear the rain right now, though. Like, it is pretty intense. Okay, now, as promised, some pictures of what happened, at least in Spruce Pine today. Let me find them now. I had them pulled up, and then I got distracted and went rogue looking for other things and actually accidentally closed out the tab. So give me just a moment, and I will fetch them right now as we speak. But yeah, let me know in the chat where you're watching from. Let me know how much water y'all have. I know some areas in Mitchell County have already been without power today. That's not good. All right, so this was posted by Sabrina Fox Winters. This looks like it was the bridge at Aldapass today. That's what it looked like when I drove by too. I think it was actually a lot worse earlier, but that was on Aldapass Road. "140-mile-per-hour reports of the Weather Channel." Holy crap. So yeah, when I drove through it, it did not look like this. There was no standing waters. It had all receded, so that's good. But I'm afraid it's just going to get right back. It's going to be bad again. Yeah, this happened. So this was posted by Jonathan Cayley Ray. This was on Wing Road this morning. Holy cow. So that's obviously where there was a culvert running underneath the road, and it washed out completely. Just completely washed the road out. Not good. Not good. So, this is why we need to stay home. Okay, here is earlier. I'm going to mute that. Let's take that back. So this was posted by Amanda Beckner. So that was earlier what I showed you, the bridge that had the debris on it. There, I guess that was what it was like when it was completely underwater. Actually, that's a great question. Let me see if I can find out. I'm guessing it's going to hit sometime in the night. Again, Chase has a background in meteorology, and he will be able to answer more questions like that when he hops on here in about, well, any time now. This is crazy. And that was this morning. That was this morning. Let me see if I can find out when it's supposed to hit. And there's Chase. What's up, man? Gotcha. You're live, just so you know. You are live on the air. Can you hear me?
All right, I think I can hear you now.
Awesome. You're live on the air.
Awesome.
What's up, dude?
Not much, man. What's going on?
Oh, man, just talking about this crazy storm.
Insane, huh?
Yeah.
I wore my Hurricanes hoodie. I thought it was appropriate.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I honestly didn't even think about it before I put it on, but when I did, I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Okay, cool. So this worked out pretty well, the remote thing. I like this.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all.
It's fairly easy to set up. So, do you know when this is supposed to actually hit Mitchell County, or at least western North Carolina?
I think most of it's supposed to be overnight and into the morning hour. I think the worst of it's basically the early morning hours.
Gotcha.
So,
gotcha.
I think that's really what you're talking about. But, I mean, I was watching, I just caught a little clip of Jason Boyer talking on WLOS. I mean, they're talking about, I mean, we're going to get a lot in our area, so the Tri-County area, so Avery, Mitchell, Yancey, especially like the southern parts of Yancey County are going to get really hammered. So like Pensacola,
Yeah.
out near Mount Mitchell, places like that are going to be just absolutely inundated. And if anybody is watching and has anybody, friends or anybody, I would highly encourage those people to seek higher ground because it's going to get bad, and it's already bad.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You add 10 to 15 more inches of rain on top of what we already have here, and that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. It is.
But I've been saying on on social media, and I was posting something about last night, this westerly turn that this thing is taking. So typically, storm makes a landfall in the Gulf and sort of rakes up the Atlantic coast. That's kind of the whole thing. Well, there's two different factors at play. Number one, there's a high pressure to the north that's going to keep it from moving in that direction. And then there's also a low pressure that's located kind of in like Louisiana, Arkansas area. And that's called the Fujiwara effect, which is typically associated with two tropical cyclones that meet in the ocean. They'll start, if they get in close enough proximity, they will start to rotate around each other.
Right.
Like this. Or most of the time what happens is the bigger one of the two will absorb the other one, but it has this rotating effect. And that's what's pulling the storm in a weird trajectory that puts us basically right in so that when they quadrant off storms. So you have a hurricane, you have the front quadrant and the bottom quadrant, and then you have the left front and the right front and the left bottom. Right front quadrant is where we're going to be. So the storm will just come just to our west.
Yeah.
And we will be in the front right. And that's where you get all that wraparound moisture coming in. And that's why they're forecasting it to be so much rain, is because that's the area of a storm that you typically get the most moisture. One good thing is that's not typically associated with tornadoes.
Good.
So,
That's good.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Ashley, to answer your question in chat, Ashley asked, do you think Spruce Pine Avery Lime will get hit hard? I would say yes. It looks like Avery's expecting 10 to 15 inches of rain, or 10 to 12 inches of rain. I would assume that the county line is going to get hit pretty hard.
Yeah, I would think so. I'll tell you another thing people need to be aware of too is this flooding will not crest until the storm is nearly over.
Right.
Or shortly thereafter.
Right.
So just because it stops raining tomorrow afternoon doesn't mean everybody needs to flock down to the river to see what's going on, because that water will still be rising.
Yeah.
And will crest sometime thereafter. But I mean, I saw a number on WLOS that made my jaw drop. They're talking about in Fletcher, which is just south of Asheville. They're talking about the river gauge there is forecast that its highest crest, the historic crest of it right now, stands just over 20 feet. It's forecasted to go over 30 feet. So that's crushing a record. I mean, like absolutely crushing it into oblivion. So, I mean, that's pretty damning right there, and especially the parts south of Asheville. So you start to get down into like the, I guess they would call that the foothills.
Yeah.
Down into like Brevard, places like Hendersonville, Cashers. Well, I think Cashers is going to be spared probably the worst part of it. They got hit really hard last night. But places down in that area, even some parts of southern like Haywood County, up to the Haywood County line and all that, are going to get just absolutely washed away. And I don't think I said last night, there's a lot of things being thrown around here that typically I'm somebody who has minor meteorology. I majored in meteorology in college. I did not finish that, so I'm not a meteorologist. So take everything I'm saying, go seek an expert opinion, not mine. There's thousands of actual meteorologists on YouTube and on TV you can go listen to. Don't listen to me. But it's going to be pretty bad down there. I mean, when it floods down there, it floods hard, and it's crazy. It's going to be wild to see.
Man.
So. Yeah.
Are there any other tips you can think of? So I went over pretty much the basics. Make sure all your electronic devices are charged. Laptops make great battery banks. Do you have anything playing through the speakers? It sounds like I'm getting feedback on your end.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, weird.
Let me back off a little.
Anyway,
okay.
Yeah.
That's my chair. That's my chair squeaking.
Are you sure?
WD-40 on this thing.
No, that's just Hurricane Chase coming out there. What's up, Steve? How's it going, man? What's it like up on the head of Water Street right now? So, anyway, make sure your laptops make great battery banks to charge your cell phones with. All your electronic devices, like my cell phone is right now plugged in. It's currently 100% charged, but I want it to be 100% charged when the power goes out, because I believe inevitably it will.
I think it will too.
My bathtub and I have a top-loading washing machine. They are both full of water to flush the toilets with. I'm pretty much planning for a multi-day power outage.
Yep.
I've showered and brushed my teeth, and I'm all squeaky clean right now. Now, in 2 days, if the power's been out for that long, I probably won't be that clean. But anyway, these newer washing machines, the way I filled mine up was I plugged it from the wall, because they've got a sensor in them that if there's water left in it, the pump will automatically come on and it'll pump the water out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I unplugged it from the wall, and I of course turned the water off to the back, the cold water feed. And I just put the water line in the tub and just turned it on and filled it up with the actual water hose.
Hey, there you go. That's a good idea, actually. That's very creative. I've heard the bathtub thing, fill a bathtub. Obviously, that's pretty common, but I've never thought about filling a washing machine. That's pretty good advice.
Coolers also work great if you don't have if you have a front load washer and you want a second, water source. Coolers are really good for that also.
And, something else I've thought about on the same topic is, I went down by the new Stroop Road Park, the River Bend Park, the new one that just opened. It's pretty much already gone.
Really?
Pretty bad. And if it crests the way they're talking about, I don't know. They're going to pretty much just have to start over on that one, I think. But
yikes.
Which is down near the sewer treatment plant. When I drove down the road towards the sewer treatment plant, and there was already one stormwater drain that the lid was blah, 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 and water was pouring out of it. And that was, this morning around 10:30.
Oh my God.
So I think the sewer treatment plant down there is in risk of being flooded. So don't go play in your flood water tomorrow, because it's not going to be good.
So question, what happens if that gets flooded? There's two thickeners down there where they separate the solids. That's going to be bad.
I'm sure that they take precautions for this. I think they've probably shut everything down. If I had to guess, they have contingency plans for this type of stuff. And Viola, the company that works it, is pretty good, I think. So I don't think you'll have any problems. But I definitely don't think it's going to crest high enough to get into those tanks, because those tanks themselves are like 15 feet off the ground or something. So the top of them. So it would have to be like. Right. I'm talking Noah's Ark flood to actually get into it, I think, to have a release, but it may not be functioning for a few days in any case. And that goes for personal septic systems as well. You don't know what's in that flood water. If somebody's got a septic system in their yard, and they get flooded, all of that crap is going into that river, and you don't want to be playing in it.
No. Well, it's just bad practice to play in floodwaters anyway, because the risk of you drowning is pretty damn high. So let's just not do that. Let's stay inside. So there is a curfew right now from 10 to 7. Is that correct? Is that right? 10 to 7? I believe
that's what it was,
10 to 7, there's a curfew. And just, again, stay inside. My God. Could you imagine a tree falling on you while you're driving? That sounds awful.
And it has happened. Somebody died around here of that not very long ago. So that's a very real possibility. So I think that was a good thing they did, just to tamp down on people getting out. And, look, I'm guilty of it too. I want to go see it as well. I drove around today just to see what was going on.
I did
not
too.
To get anybody's way, and all that. But everybody wants to see. But you need to let people, you don't want to go out there and get in an emergency that you've already got emergencies that are going to go on anyway. So let the emergency services respond to what really has to be responded to, and don't go out there and make a problem for them, I think is the main goal.
Yeah, for sure.
So
for sure. Yeah, I did. I went out today. Now, I just went out and took the trash. I actually had to go out because I had to take the trash off. So it looks like Steve says it's raining steadily here so far. They have close to 7 inches total. That's on Bandana. That's in the north end of the county.
Yeah.
Man.
Boy, I drove down to Tocane there. Loafer's Glory, Tocane into Red Hill.
Yeah.
Buddy, that river, that gorge right through there, that river looked. I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, that's the Mighty Toe River. Because it looked like it today, man. It looked like it. That was some big water. And, we saw a couple just full-on trees, whole trees floating down that thing. So, I mean, I think what we're talking here is, I told this to Laura, we're talking about a flood of a magnitude that could change the ecology of the river. I mean, literally, maybe not I'm not talking about fish species and stuff like this, but it could change the directions of the river.
Right.
I fully expect, I'm very familiar with what that river looks like now because I've kayaked it 10 million times this year.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how it's going to change after this. So,
yeah. You probably can't see right now on stream, but I'm showing a video that was taken and posted earlier on Let's Talk Mitchell County of Aldapass when it was flooding at the bridge there. Crazy
stuff, man. Buddy, that bridge at Lacey Queen's old house, the Queen's house is there. Let me tell you, now that thing is mighty sturdy. It looked like it was just full of shit.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah, when they built that bridge, they full on planned for this, I think.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens to some of these. Carpenter Island's a problem.
Yeah.
Like if you're on Carpenter Island right now and you can get off of it, you need to.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be able to get out of there. I mean, again, I just keep thinking about places like Pensacola. I mean, they're forecast to get upwards of 20 inches in that area.
Wow.
I mean, that is a lot of water.
This was just sent to me, or this was posted by a viewer. I guess this looks like maybe their basement, I'm assuming. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but it looks like they have standing water, at least in their house or outside of their house. That's
wow. Here, I'm going to pull it up on
That's a good one,
here.
Cody. You're absolutely right. We've been over that. I've mentioned that a few times. Please fill up your tub with water to flush the toilets in case the power goes out, because it's going to. The power is absolutely going to go out. It is absolutely going to go out.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm looking at the video of the basement. Wow. So I got some water coming into my basement. That's what I was doing before I got on here. I've had a day of it. I tried to prepare, but of course, it's just like, this is good advice for anybody, too. I'm like, I'll just go get the generator at the office. No problem. We got a generator for our construction company, so I went and go grab it. I got to pull the pull string on it, and the thing just completely comes off. I'm like,
oh, no.
It was like the whole housing of it, and everything. Something was wrong with that. Thank God. Shout out to, what's the name? Up on out at the Smallings, Bryant's.
Bryant, yeah, Bryant's awesome.
I called him this morning, and he said, hey, look, the river's getting awful high. That building is at risk of flooding for sure. And he's like, look, we're trying to make preparations. I don't know if I've got time to help you out today. And so I gave it towards the end of the day. I tried my best to fix it myself. I had another guy that I contacted, didn't work out. And so I just went by there, and they were still packing up. So I'm like, look, if you'll just show me how to fix this. Yeah. And so he grabs, he's like, let me see it. He grabs it, turns the thing, winds it back up, and fixes it in 2 seconds. So shout out, and didn't want a dime for it. That guy is a saint. Thank you so much. I really shout out to Bryant Small Engine Repair. Go see him on Alpass. Yeah, they're going to need it. Pray for their building and for their stuff, because he's got a lot of stuff in there, and it's an extreme risk of flooding. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers. But shout out to him. A great guy, man. He really helped me out.
Well, the thing about the stuff that's in his building is it's not his. It's other people's equipment. So, and that's not good. But he's awesome. He's done work for me before. He's done. Yeah. He does great work. So Ashley, looks like right now 10 mile per hour winds in Spruce Pine is what we're showing. Nothing crazy yet, but it will get pretty crazy tonight, I would say.
Yeah, we're going to feel the wind effects when the hurricane actually gets in close proximity. So, it's going to be a tropical storm at that point, probably most likely, or maybe even a high, depression, a tropical low, basically. But it's going to pack some winds, and they're going to come quick, and they're going to come heavy. So I would full on prepare for 50 to 65 miles per hour wind gusts. That's not sustained winds, but you're talking sustained winds of 25.
Yeah,
20, 25 miles an hour probably.
Yep.
Which with all this rain that we've got, I mean, the ground's completely saturated. That's the real issue here. Is there's simply just no other place for this water to go.
Yep.
Other than to just go flood. That's it.
Well, and not to mention the ground being so saturated and so soft, high winds are going to bring trees down like they're nothing.
Yep.
Something else I want to add to talking about your generator. If you have a generator and it is not properly tied into your home, and it backfeeds into the grid, you can kill line workers that way. So please, if you have a generator that is installed maybe as a whole house or partial house generator, make sure that it is not backfeeding into the grid.
Yeah, that's a problem. I've had that. Had it happen a couple times with jobs that we're working at, and you could full on. If you don't believe you, I've seen a transformer blow down the street because of what you're doing with the generator.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty bad. You'll blow out power to the whole street if you're not careful.
Yeah, you will. You will. So here's a live look.
Make sure you also don't run anything like that inside either. If it's a gas powered generator, obviously you don't want to run that inside. I
No.
feel like it goes without saying, but just FYI.
Yeah, no, you don't want to. So, yeah, it looks like it has made landfall. It looks like the eye of the storm hasn't quite yet, but yeah, the storm itself has made landfall.
Yeah, I see that now. Yes, we're just talking about landfall, pretty much imminent right now.
Mm-hmm.
But you see even on that graphic, you see, think about that storm being quadrant with the eye of the hurricane right in the center of that quadrant.
Right.
You see where those warnings are right along the South Carolina, Georgia coast,
here?
southern South Carolina. Yes.
Yeah.
Right in there. That's the front right quadrant. That is when this hurricane gets to about the middle of Georgia, it's going to, you would think if it continued just due north, it would basically go right, the eye would go right over top of us. But what's going to happen is when it gets into Georgia, it's going to start bending to the west. Mm-hmm. And that puts us right there in that front right quadrant where you see all of those storms. So.
Yep. Wow. Dude, there was a tornado in Blowing Rock today. Did you see that?
I saw that.
Let me see
I didn't
if I
see any of the footage or anything from it, but I did hear there was about 800 trees down or something like that. And they suspected that was a tornado that touched down.
Alrighty. So I'm going to mute this so we don't get copyright strikes for it. But here is a live feed right now as it makes landfall. Is this Helen or Helene? How is this pronounced, Chase? I don't know.
It's Helene, I think.
Helene, okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So there's, I'm not sure where that is. Man, this is a massive storm.
It's a big storm. It's a big storm for sure.
It tells where it's at. It's Riverview, Florida. Okay, gotcha.
The good thing about it hitting the bend of Florida is that particular part is not crazy populated. It could have made landfall in much worse places. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously that's relative. I'm not trying to downplay the seriousness of it because there are people who live there, but
Jimmy asked in the chat, who is counting the trees? Who is counting the trees? Do we have a tree counter? I don't know.
That's what I heard. I kind of wanted the same thing, to be honest with you. I'm like, man.
Do we have a tree counter? Is there a joke there that I'm not getting? I don't understand.
I'll be 100% honest with you, though. Like, it's crazier things about roofing companies.
Yeah.
Measure and price roofs remotely now using a software that utilizes Google Earth.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, you know,
Awesome.
it's not inconceivable that somebody has some sort of AI mechanism that counts trees falling.
Right. Here is a video Laura just sent me of the the tornado in Blowing Rock today.
Okay.
That's wild as hell. Holy cow.
I'm still a little bit delayed, so I'm waiting for it to
Right.
come up on my end.
That's wild. And of course they got, there's the post. Let's replay that again. Jeez.
Oh, wow.
Jeez. Thank you, Laura, for sending me that. You saved me from having
Whoever got that's great footage.
It is.
That you ever see that? That is a mountain tornado, which is very, very rare.
I'm laughing at the chat on this other live feed because it's nothing but Trump, Jesus, and Diddy.
What is it? What live feed?
This one, the live feed of the hurricane.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that all?
That's all.
It shows where people's real attention lies.
Diddy hurricane. Diddy will rise. Diddy is not a skibbity.
Jeez, dude.
Oh my god. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh, Laura in the chat says, Chase and I saw about a dozen trees floating down the river when we were out checking out everything. I'm sure. I saw several myself.
I will say that I was happy to see one tree go right.
Which one?
At Penland. They're right at Penland at what they call the Penland Falls. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's this little biggest rapid probably in terms of drop and stuff like this on that whole stretch of river, really. And it's fun to go over. I was stressed out about taking a fishing kayak over it or whatever. I finally did. And I was like, oh, we can do this. No problem. It was fun. And so I got Laura all psyched to go over it or whatever. And then we get down there. We do the float all the way from Riverside all the way to Penland. I'm like, yeah, we're going to do it. We get down there, and there's a tree literally right in front of it. The only place where you can go down it. There's a giant tree that just fell right in front of it. I'm like, somebody had to have cut that intentionally or something to keep people from going. No, it pulled the root system up and everything. It just fell from the side of the river.
Wow.
But me and Laura intentionally went down there and walked down the railroad tracks to go over to see if that stupid tree got washed away. And sure enough, it did.
Good.
God. So at least there's one good positive silver lining to this.
Good. Good. Hey, that's good. Okay, so apparently the tornado video was taken while a guy was counting down trees. Downed trees, I'm assuming. Trees that have fallen.
Yes, yeah.
He was counting down trees. He was like, all right, trees, here we go. 10, 9. I'm only going to count to 5. He was giving them the old warning. Oh, what are the tornado chances for Mitchell County? I would say probably pretty slim. Pretty slim.
It's non-zero. I will say that.
Right. It's not zero, but it's pretty slim.
Yeah. Jason, I think Jason Boyer, who, by the way, is a great meteorologist, just FYI. Mm-hmm. Jason Boyer from WLOS is a fantastic and well-known good meteorologist. And we're lucky to have somebody like him in this market. Mm-hmm. He does a great job, and I think he put the tornado risk at like moderate. So the flooding risk, the landslide risk, and all that was all the way up. He put that at about moderate. So again, the front right quadrant doesn't tend to get you. I'm sure you will get tornado warnings or tornado watches and things like that. You absolutely will. But in the way that it's coming, in the direction that it's coming, it would be very difficult. There's a lot of meteorological minutia behind that, but let's just say that if it was coming from the west, there's a better chance that it would stir up a tornado. The direction that it's coming at us is not particularly favorable for tornado development. That doesn't mean it can't happen, though.
Right.
So
I'm looking now for live webcam footage of. Okay, here we go. Is this live? Yeah, this is live. Where is this? Frying pan ocean cam. I'm not sure where this is, but it claims to be live. Wow. Okay. Claims to be live. Frying pan ocean cam powered by explore.org. Check out explore.org. That's some pretty rough looking sea. That looks like it's on a maybe an oil rig or something. I don't know. What do you think that is, Chase?
yeah, maybe something like that.
I'm going to try and find another live stream. I want to see what it's actually doing. Okay, here we go. This is live. This is Pensacola Water Sports Cam in Florida. So, that looks pretty uneventful right now. That's wild. How is it we're getting more rain in Florida? What the?
Well, it's an effect of that. All that hurricane is literally sucking all of the moisture out of the Gulf, and that's where it's pushing it this way. Of course, Pensacola is on that would be in like the left. I guess that'd be the left front quadrant, which is typically the calmest. They're going to get a lot of they get the worst of it as the hurricane passes to the northeast of them. So that's why they'll get the worst of it later tonight, probably.
Right.
In their regard.
This is one big storm. I know that much. I'm still looking for more. This is from this is a storm surge. It looks like this happened. This was from today. This isn't a live, but this is from a storm surge here. So that's pretty wild. I know you're on a delay. Sorry. You can't see what I'm looking at.
No,
here.
you're fine. You're fine.
So yeah, there's definitely some crazy flooding going on. I did see a post earlier today that really made me chuckle. It said, "All right, everybody in the area that has in Western North Carolina with a Salt Life sticker on the back of your vehicle, now is your time to shine."
I saw another post that was what did it say? Remember, if a news camera, for those of you in the mountains, remember if a news truck pulls in your driveway, teeth and bras.
Yep.
Teeth and bras, people.
What was that? It was a Jeff Foxworthy bit I think he used to do where he was like, they never interview a doctor or a lawyer. They always find the grandma and the moo-moo with curlers in her hair. It was pandemonium. I thought we'd be killed or even worse.
Somebody call the ambulance. Somebody call the ambulance.
I looked outside to see the chicken house go over the roof, and all I could think is Carolyn still has my casserole dish.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
That was his entire bit, though. I actually memorized that a long time ago, so I can't take credit for that. That was Jeff Foxworthy. But yeah,
I tell you, the thing that was kind of at the top of my mind, last night is looking for this is there's, and I know because I'm in this industry. Nate knows. Nate Schlabach, he's in the chat. There's a lot of new people that have moved here over the last 5, 6, but basically the COVID years. Have seen a lot of people transplant here, and that's great. And we're glad to have people like that, but. There were several people that were posting I don't know what to expect here, what's going on, because this is an event that happens here in some sort of regularity, once every 5 years,
Right.
once every
10 years,
5
something
to 7
like
years,
yeah.
10 years type of thing, is you get this, and it usually is a result like the last what is it 2004 or
Yeah.
5 was a result of two. It was two Gulf landing hurricanes that came pretty much back to back with one another and just washed us out completely. And in these mountains,
That's when Kanye did his famous "George Bush doesn't care about black people."
right? Exactly. That's yeah.
And poor Mike Myers is just like,
But yeah, it's just there's people that don't legitimately don't know what to expect. You hear all these things. You're okay, well, and this is where I think it's dangerous that people, the meteorology industry, let's call it, is not unlike, like you say all the time. Every institution in America is corrupt.
corrupt to its core.
They do gin things up to make it a bigger deal than it is.
Sure.
But this right here, for anybody that has any sort of halfway, meteorological education at all, this is just the classic setup for terrible flooding in Western North Carolina. It's just the way it goes. And it almost always happens about this time of year, too.
Yeah.
Sometime in September, October time frame, this is when it happens.
Yep.
So
I'll just say this. Mitchell Medics posted 56 minutes ago to serve our citizens in Mitchell County. We have units staged at Poplar, Fork Mountain area, Ledger, and Parkway, and they are staffed and ready to roll. So they are spread out all over the county, which is a great thing. So... All right, in the chat, Space Telegrams, some people were blowing it off like it's nothing too. And it's not. This is going to be a pretty significant event. I remember seeing trailers floating down the river in previous floods. Yes, the biggest flood I remember was the flood of 97. Is that right?
Yeah. That's
that
the one
flood.
I was talking about last night. Yeah. In my post.
Yeah.
That was when you had the National Guard was literally stationed at my mom's hotel.
Well, at Bowman Middle School too. I got to ride. That was the first time I got to ride in a Humvee. That was wild, military Humvee.
Yeah.
And my dad just let me go with these National Guard guys and just go on a ride with them. We didn't know them. I'm just like, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
They could have killed me, or even worse.
Bakersville literally got washed away.
It did. It did.
Literally got washed away.
Dude, we were so we were at church that night. We had a singing, and there was a group called the Reggie Sadler family that were from down around Charlotte, I think, maybe. And they had came up to have a singing at the church on a Wednesday night. Why we had a singing on Wednesday night, I don't know. That was
right.
Not a usual event, but we got stuck at the church. Like, we were stranded at Cane Creek Baptist Church, could not leave. They wouldn't let us leave, so we spent the night there. And there was like Cane Creek was just like a freaking river, an insanely like whitewater rapid river at this point. Then there was an old guy across the river from the church having a damn heart attack, so EMS had to cross the damn creek, which was a river at the time, to get him and take him to the hospital and deal with his heart attack. It was just like, dear God.
Yeah, it got crazy. There's a few times it's gotten crazy.
Yeah,
the 2004 event was not something I think that was actually the 2004 event.
I remember that.
Was that actually 2005? Because I remember I was in college.
Maybe.
And in UNCA in September of 2005, and we got major flooding, and they sent us all home. That was how bad it was. Everybody had to leave.
Yeah, there was two that hit back to back. Ivan, and what was the other one? I remember Ivan was one of them.
I think the 2004 was Ivan.
Was it Ivan?
I think.
Yeah.
I think so. Yes, I think so.
Yeah. It was.
The 2005 was the two hurricanes back to back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was at Neil Crisp's. I was at Neil Crisp's house, hanging out with him during that, and the power was out, and we were just sitting there chilling, and like the wind blew the door wide open, and Neil's dad was just like, "Ivan's here." We all just died. Ivan and Francis, Ivan's here. But yeah, Brittany, that was those two. I'm trying to get caught up on the chat here. Biggest concern, Doomer77 says biggest concern will be flooding, power outage, and mudslides. Shelters are open for those that need them. Yes, there are shelters at the United Methodist Church in Spruce Pine. There is one also at Mitchell High School's gymnasium in Ledger.
Ashley Shepard just had flood warning come across phone. Where are you at, Ashley?
I did too, actually.
Oh, you didn't? Maybe I did too. And I've got mine on silent.
I do too.
Yeah, I just did.
Yeah, the 97, I remember it vividly too, and 04, which is funny because 04, I was like smoking copious amounts of weed the entire time, like during that hurricane, actually. So you would think that I wouldn't, but I remember them both quite vividly. Yeah, that was wild. Spruce Pine. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Ashley's in Spruce Pine. Yeah, I'm going through just to see if there's any updates on anything.
The North Toe River is going to be a rager.
Yeah, it is.
Tonight into the morning. It's going to be insane. I'm kind of surprised they didn't. I think it's a shame. The Spruce Pine river gauge is offline and has been for the last 2 months.
Really?
I would. They need to fix those things. The one at, I think they have one at CeeLo on the South Toe that was still active. Let me try to pull that up and see where we're at there or what, because it shows the past, I think 4 or 24 hours, I believe.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm going to read up in the chat. Natasha. Sure. Vidal says, I'm from Miami, Florida, and I have been through many hurricanes, but I'm in the mountains now and have never experienced a storm up here. Hits different. I'm sure it does. My mom lives on the coast of North Carolina, and she's been through several hurricanes. I think it does hit. It hits different up here, as the kids say. Hits different. No cap. No cap.
No cap.
This storm has a certain rizz about it.
It does have some riz. A lot of riz going on. Let's see. Right now it peaked. So typically South Toe with decent waters right around 2 feet. Somewhere between 1 and 2 feet. It peaked last night at just over 8.5 feet, 8.49 feet was the peak last night. And currently it is 7.36. And so it's not going to take a whole lot for that to go way over what it was last night.
Oh, for sure.
So that's South Toe River at CeeLo. So
yeah,
you go figure.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh man, I'm reading some of the comments now on the post that I made. So Connie Jones Carpenter says my granny and daddy raised me to prepare for such things. I got all the food I need, either from the store, home preserved, ways to cook it, a generator, gas for it, etc. When I first sat my double wide here at Daddy's, which is my now parents have passed, and I was the only child. Last time I weathered a storm like this, my little daddy was alive. It was always knew what to do. Daddy, for looking down on me with all of us and send us down your wisdom. We all need it right now more than ever. The storm is skibbity told. Yes, Doomer, you're absolutely right. It
is. That's funny.
Oh. And Rhonda Musk O'Donnell, we are still live. If you said you missed it, you wished you could have been there to watch. We're here now. We're live right now. You can watch us on The World Unwrapped, the best local podcast, the only local podcast, I think. It is
might be the only one.
Maybe I don't know. If there is another one, we should collaborate.
The boys that do the Out of the Church Attic podcast. It's an audio only.
Ah, right.
It's a religious podcast. I think Austin. Is it Austin? And another guy do that. It's a couple guys that go to the Grove Church. I think it's pretty good. Very very well produced.
Mm.
So there's a couple of religious podcasts I think that people do around here, but We're the
So,
only one that cusses and says shit and damn and
oh
stuff like
hell! We're the only anything goes podcast. As of an hour ago, looks like 9 3/4 inches of rain in the last 24 hours on McKinney Mine Road. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. We should. I mean, hey, if they want to come on our show, they're more than welcome to. I'd love to sit down and have a chat with them.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, Colton. That's right.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's right.
So we're the only anything goes podcast. We're the only podcast of debauchery.
That's right.
Debaucherous podcast. So it looks like everything is still. I'm gonna put it back on the. Let me find the radar here and see where we're at. Here we go. Now it's not much has changed. Let's see if I can find a better radar, a more live radar, a more lively radar.
More lively.
Lively.
So yeah, you're starting to see some rise in the. I'd mentioned that gauge at the river gauge on the French Broad at Fletcher. You're beginning to see it now here in the last just little bit, starting to rise pretty heavy. You're at just over 17 and a half feet, 17.55 feet. Just to give you an idea of what that river normally runs at, you're right over 4 feet. So,
wow.
Yeah. And again, that's expected to crest tomorrow afternoon at somewhere around 30 feet. The historical record is right around 20 feet. So we're already approaching that 17.55 feet right as it sits now. That's insane.
Here we go.
Absolutely insane.
I like this. So this is a live satellite view of the storm. I like this a lot better than the radar. It's probably nowhere near as informative as the radar, but, it looks cooler.
Oh, yeah, so you're still a little way, just a few, probably a good. It's going to make landfall within the next half hour, probably.
Well, if you'll watch.
The eye itself.
Has
already come.
Okay. Yeah, if you'll watch it.
Just barely looks like off the coast. So imminent landfall.
Yeah, up till. Okay, as of 9:20, the eye was barely within just a few millimeters of that.
So it probably made landfall already.
Yeah, for sure.
Doomer says if you're in Madison County, the shelter's open at the Wellness Center by Early College by Madison High School. Okay.
That's good to know.
Yep.
That's good to know. Play the radar. This is Zoom Earth.
Wow, look at that. Can you imagine being on the space station and looking at something like that? That's insane.
No, that would be wild. That would be wild. Do you think we went to the moon? No, I'm just kidding.
Let me turn this into a Joe Rogan episode. On another note, do you think the moon landing was faked?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So there, you see that track. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So somewhere, right around, it's looking like it's making a little bit more of a bend, but somewhere in Georgia there, it starts to kind of trail off to the west, which is that's what's putting us. So they're talking about the eye of the hurricane coming somewhere in between Huntsville and Chattanooga there. Look at that. That's just insane.
I know, dude. That's... Man.
The other thing that's kind of... this thing has moved slow so far. I mean, very slow. They were at one point, I think it was down to like 7 miles per hour.
See, that's really bad.
Creeping.
That's really bad.
Just creeping for a hurricane. I mean, I think, during the intensity when it quickly went from like a category 2 to category 4, it picks up a little speed during that. But I think that right before landfall, they were saying that it was going to just creep in too,
Well,
so.
Yeah, that's bad because while it's over the Gulf, it's picking up so much moisture and becoming way stronger.
Yeah. So you can see kind of where we're at right now. I mean, you see that, boy, look how it just really starts to it really gets defined. You see that, look at that really defined eye. That's when hurricanes really start getting some real strength. I mean, you see those outer bands up here that are going to eventually start to impact us. That's what we're waiting on. That's why you're probably not getting, a deluge of rainfall right this. I mean, it's raining outside very steadily, but that's going to pick up in pace increasingly, and you're going to start to get bands of it. As you see those very outer bands start to kind of come in.
Yeah, and for those who have just joined us and are tuning in, we're going to go over the tips again to help prepare for this. So, obviously, you want all your electronic devices to be charged. Laptops make fantastic battery banks. You can charge your phones and other devices off of them. I would not use them for entertainment. Since this is an emergency, I would charge them up, have them fully charged so you can use them as a battery bank. Also, of course, you want to have plenty of candles, but don't burn your house down. That's bad too. That's bad too. As far as water preparedness, you want to have water to be able to flush your toilets. So fill your bathtubs up with water. Fill any kind of apparatus you have up with water. So that could be coolers. I filled my washing machine up with water. It's a top loader. I unplugged it. I unhooked the cold water line from the back. Of course, I turned the water off. Fed the line into the tub and turned it on and just filled my entire washing machine up with water. I left it unplugged so it won't drain out. I'm planning to be without power at least for a day or two. I mean, I'm thinking multiple days without electricity is probably what's going to happen. At least I'm preparing for that. I don't want that to happen because, my God, what am I going to sit here and do for 2 days with no electricity?
Well, in an increasingly technological society, we are just completely. I always think it's funny when the power goes out. The kids are like, "Oh, that's fun. We'll just watch YouTube on our phone." I'm like, the internet doesn't work. Right.
Yeah. At least you're in town though, where you have cell phone signal, so you can still use the internet.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, if you got a cell phone and stuff, you definitely can for sure.
I don't have cell phone service here.
I even at one point, now, chances are if the power goes out, your internet service is probably going to be down as well.
Chances are.
That being said, I have had time. I did hook the internet router up and my computer up to a generator one time and was able to get on the internet. It can't happen, but I mean, honestly, run your refrigerator.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Put your refrigerator on the generator before you put all that stuff, if you've got a generator.
My situation.
Just me, my whole thing last night was if you are by a stream, a creek even, or anywhere near a river or something that a stream or a creek feeds into a pond, you need to be keeping tabs on those water levels. Hourly, if not half hourly, when this really kicks in, because it can happen very, very, very quickly. Books are very nifty space telegrams. A book, imagine that. Read.
Book. What are those again? Is that some kind of ancient information depository?
Yeah, I think so. They used to have these things called libraries where there was a lot of them there. Remember that?
Is that where homeless people take showers?
Yes.
Gotcha.
It is.
Gotcha. Or not take showers, but brush their teeth.
Ashley up there had said, "What's next week looking like?"
We rebuild
right after this storm. You're still going to have, rebuild.
We rebuild.
Clean up. That's what it's going to look like. you're even after that. I don't know about the long-term forecast afterwards, but you're going to have showers associated with this for the next. I mean, probably going into this weekend.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah.
So it may not be raining where you are. That doesn't mean it's not raining somewhere else. So you're going to have some stuff trailing off afterwards. But just let people. The most important thing is let emergency services and let the cleanup process play out without you being in the way of it.
Yep.
Again, everybody wants to go out and look. I get it. Everybody's curious, but just do your job to stay out of the way and keep things from getting clogged up. Just a little common courtesy and some common sense goes a long way in situations like this. Just let it play,
Yep. Let it play out. Let everybody do what they need to do. And it's a great way to stay in shape.
Great way to stay in shape. Great way to stay in shape.
So it looks like we're gonna see some significant weather tonight into tomorrow morning. We're gonna wake up tomorrow to a different world.
I think so. I think that's safe to say. But you're talking, they're Buncombe County government. I did watch a little short live stream of some of theirs. The lady over there that's over there, emergency services, was talking that this could surpass or rival the Great Flood of 1916, which
sorry about that.
Literally wiped us away. So I mean that's what you're dealing with. This will be an historical flooding event, no doubt about it. And if it's not where you are, it's going to be plenty of other places.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah.
I think I think maybe Bakersville. The more northern parts or towards the Tennessee line is going to be spared a little bit. I think most of the moisture is going to be right along the Blue Ridge Escarpment. So that's, Spruce Pine-ish, Little Switzerland, Marion, places like that are going to get just absolutely hammered. But I mean, that you're talking about a difference between 20 inches of rain and 12 inches of rain. A foot of rain is a lot of freaking rain.
Oh, God, yeah. That's an insane amount.
The numbers that you're talking about that are being thrown around can get misconstrued, too. Because,
right.
80, I mean, we had, I think, some places last night they had 8 inches.
Yeah.
Well, look what 8 inches did. That's on the low end of what we're expected to get tonight.
Right.
So, I mean, on top of what we've already had.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
These are relative numbers. You gotta think out of them in that regard.
Jimmy sent this earlier, so he sent a picture of a waterfall and creek around his house. He said this is what it normally looks like, and this is what it was like today. That's crazy. That's a lot of water. I guess that's the falls at Swiss Pine Lake.
Oh, yeah, I know which one he's talking about. I'm waiting to see it here.
Yeah. So there's what it normally looks like, and there's what it is today.
Wow.
Right.
That's fun.
Golly.
Actually, we were over in Bakersville at Cane Creek. I was like, I could kayak that.
Yeah.
Cane Creek's normally just a little stream,
Yep.
It was a rager, an absolute rager.
I've seen it, man. That's the way it was in the flood of 97. It was wild. It was wild.
Wild stuff, man. Wild stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just going to check the pages and make sure there's no other new updates. Everybody just stay safe. Stay inside. Go to a shelter if you need to. If your house is flooding, if you need to evacuate, please do. Please do.
Yeah, don't take this lightly.
No.
It's not one to be taken lightly.
No, it's not. It really isn't. So again, we're under a curfew from 10 p.m. tonight to 7 in the morning. That's going to just keep people inside, instead of going out and walking around. Yancey County shelters.
Whoa.
I was trying to see where else there might be some shelters in Yancey County. Let me go to the Yancey County page. The Burnsville hub. Okay. Okay. All right, so Yancey County is also under a curfew from 10 to 7. Looking to see if there is any kind of updates on where shelters may be in Yancey County. I don't see any at the moment, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they may be. Well, that's a skibbity.
That's a skibbity, son.
That's a skibbity. Did I do that right? Did I?
I think you skibbited it right.
Did I? Is my Riz dripping?
Okay, so the Red Cross is actually operating the Mitchell High School Emergency Shelter. Okay, that's cool.
Yes. Yancey County offices will be closed Friday, September 27th. The convenience centers and landfill will be closed Friday as well. I'm assuming Mitchell County's will to also. I just assume. We are under a state of emergency.
So Mitchell County government for the latest estimates for the arrival of the peak intensity of Hurricane Helene, looks like we are in the 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. category. A little further south, 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then down into South Carolina, you're like 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. So, I mean, the worst is
yet to come.
Far and away yet to come.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Space Telegrams in the chat says if your Riz is dripping, please seek medical attention.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's get that drip. I went ahead and I did something smart today. I fed all the snakes except for the one that needed assist feeding, but I got all my snake stuff done because I assumed that a helicopter's not going to be able to fly in this weather, and I really don't want to be in a situation where I need a helicopter.
Yep, don't want to be in that situation. You've had too many of them.
Yeah.
I just sent you something on Facebook, Josh. That's Linville Falls.
This content isn't available right now. When this happens, it's usually because the owner only shared it with a small group of people. So their privacy settings are...
That sucks.
Or they have me blocked.
I don't think that somebody would have you blocked.
But their privacy settings are such that it is not able to be seen. So everybody, just remember, stay inside. That's the big takeaway from tonight. Stay inside. Tomorrow, stay inside. Enjoy this time of doing nothing. Just chill. Just chill.
Just chill. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, just chill. Just chill. Man, all right, let's see what the where we're at now on the live radar. Let me refresh the page. So this storm is not going to hit us in Mitchell County more than likely until the very early hours of the morning. 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. is what you said, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Well, I hope the electricity stays on.
Check that out. I just seen you.
Okay.
This is the Boone Mall parking lot. No, this looks like an old picture. Never mind. Never mind. That looks like an old picture because that definitely all the leaves are off the trees. So.
Yeah, that is. That is an old picture. I mean, I don't know. It's Boone, so like maybe they've already winter probably is already in full swing in Boone at this point.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true.
Yeah, that looks like an old. I don't know. Everybody's saying or commenting like it's a recent picture.
That's a picture from there was an event posted 2024 pool party at Boone Mall tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Holly, how will I light the snakes? I will not light the snakes. The snakes will be without light. It is not cool enough to harm them, so they are perfectly fine. If the power goes out, to do without their lights tomorrow, that is not a problem. If it were wintertime, I would be bagging. I would have already have them bagged up and in the house where it is warm. But it is not wintertime, so they are perfectly fine in their enclosures. Everybody ate today, with the exception of the little blue viper. Of course, I have to assist feed him. Everybody else ate, though. So I don't have to worry about feeding no snakes and getting bit during this weather event. Because needing a helicopter and having a cobra bite during a hurricane is not a good thing to do. You know, what's funny, speaking of snake bites and disasters, you know, of course, the inland taipan bite that just happened recently with the keeper in South Carolina. There's only the only other two taipan bites, inland taipan bites in the United States. One was just a few months before that, which honestly exhausted the supply of antivenom that this person was wanting. The other one, the last one before these two this year, the last inland taipan bite occurred literally on 9/11.
Yeah, I heard that the only plane that was allowed to fly on 9/11 was a private plane that was delivering antivenom to a
Yep. That
was
it.
for an inland taipan bite.
It was, yes. Yep.
Wow, that's crazy. What a unique fact.
Yep.
Yeah.
As Australians say, the fist snake. The fist snake.
The fist snake.
Fist snake. Yep.
Well, should we call it a night, Joshua?
I think so. Everybody, please stay safe. Stay inside.
Yep.
Be as prepared as you can be. Fill your bathtubs up with water. Fill everything you can, pots and pans, up with water so you can flush your toilets, because more than likely the power is going to go out. Charge everything tonight. Make sure it's fully charged in the morning. And stay inside. Seek higher ground. Don't do drugs.
That's right. And if you do it well.
Yeah, I wouldn't do drugs tonight. Probably not a good time to do drugs.
No drugs tonight.
No drugs
tonight, guys.
Yeah, you don't want to
be aware.
Be aware of your surroundings tonight.
Well, that's right.
Alrighty, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace out.
Josh, take care, buddy.
You too.
Stay
See you,
safe.
Chase. Later.